after the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. The burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
What's good, Washington Commanders fans? All right, so the Washington Commanders wrap up their final preseason game against the Cincinnati Bengals by beating them 21-19, which was a pretty, I guess, up and down game a little bit from the say the least. There was some good and some bad in it. Pretty much just like you could expect it, but this game was a showcase game. It was an opportunity game for a lot of players to see if some of them can make the roster, see if some of them can make the practice squad or audition for other teams. But nevertheless, this game it didn't get exciting until like towards the second, third, and fourth quarter because the game got really tight and close and everything like that. Now, Jacoby Brissett started off the game with the Commanders. I was not too much impressed with him too much. If you go back to the last couple preseason games, he has not really played well. And it's not a knock on Jacoby. I think he's a little older. He done got knocked around a little bit. I mean, his mobility is not the greatest to get out of the pocket, as you see tonight. I always say Jacoby reminds me of Jameis Winston, just his body movement a little bit, the way he moves out the pocket. Now, he did scramble on that one play, got out the pocket and find Tinsley down the sideline for the first touchdown for the Commanders. But after that, that was pretty much it. Everything else was kind of like he was forcing to throw. His passes seemed a little bit lazy. You know, no zip on there. Like if Howard was in there, he was going to get it out of his hand. I mean, even Jake from State Farm came in there and he was lighting it up, you know, getting the ball down the field, pushing it and stuff like that. And that's something that, you know, Jacoby Brissett is going to be the backup quarterback for Sam Howell. He's going to have to play aggressive. And I just don't, I mean, he's been good for Sam Howell, mentorship and stuff like that, but I just don't see him really, if something happens to Sam Howell, he's going to be able to carry that offense the way Sam Howell can. Now, can Jake Fromm do it? There's a chance he could. There's a pretty much chance that Jake can do it. I think Jake has showed that he can pretty much, you know, get stuff down. Now, he has not. No, in the last two preseason games, he has led the team in scoring, you know, scoring down the field. He had a great game tonight and everything like that. But the main thing is we want to see consistency. I mean, tonight he got sacked twice. Brissett got sacked once. Brissett, he was 10 for 15, 96 yards for one touchdown, and that's the one that came to Tinsley. Now, Jake, he was 13 for 18, 144, and 2 touchdowns. And his quarterback rating was 132.6 for whatever you give that. Jacoby's was 106.5. But I just don't, me personally, I think because Jacoby's the veteran, Fromm been there before with us, I just don't see, I really don't see us going with 2 quarterbacks. I think most likely we would kind of keep 3 on a roster just for sheer measure because you never know what's going to happen. Now, was I impressed with the game in the beginning? No, I wasn't. I think even though we had some guys in there that gave up a lot of big plays, you know, a lot of gutting plays and stuff like that. So I think that's the main issue that we was kind of like dealing with a little bit here and there. Now, and you look at the running back situation, there's no doubt that Chris Rodriguez is going to make the team. He had 7 carries for 52 yards and averaged 7.4. He did enough. You know, Jared Patterson came in, he did a little something. Gore and Jonathan Williams is going to be the guys that you're going to have to look at. I think, but like I said, some of these guys is going to be practice guys. Some of these guys are going to end up going to other teams because some of these teams need running backs. You got running backs that's holding out in the league. So some of these guys that could be playing for another team. Jared Patterson pretty much could be playing for another team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know we want him and stuff like that, but I feel we'll keep 4. 3 on the roster, 1 on the practice squad. And that's probably going to be Patterson or Jonathan Williams. You know, so who knows? I think, to me, it just seems, as you watch the game, you could tell some of the guys that really wanted and some of the guys that should have had a breakout game that we expected really didn't have that, really didn't come out with the punch that we was looking for. You know, especially because I'm about to get into the wide receiver part, and there was a couple of guys that I was wanting to, you know, if they did enough, they probably had a chance to make the team. Now I don't feel that strong with about it because I don't know if they'll be able to make that team. And speaking of wide receivers, I'm talking about Kaz Allen. He had 2 drops. That's a no-no. 2 drops is going to get you in trouble. He didn't really do too much. He didn't do too much for me. He was targeted twice. He ain't made no catches. He didn't do nothing. And then he did a failed catch on a return. And he could have got positive yards for that. So his roster spot is, and we drafted him and because of his speed and versatility. And now the only way I see him making a team, and one of these guys get hurt. That's the way I see it. And I don't see that happening. I mean, Mr. Tinsley, man, he was targeted 4 times. He caught 3 of his passes for 89 yards. Both was over almost 30 yards a catch. 1 touchdown, longest is 39 yards. He almost had 2 touchdowns in the game. The one that he did hit the pylon, but they say he was out of bounds. But that was clearly a touchdown on that play right there. But they robbed him for it. But the Commanders was able to punch it in. From was able to throw a touchdown pass to Tremaine. I like him. I really like this guy. Tremaine, I like him. He's a wide receiver, but he's not going to get too much from us. He's 6'4", 212. He's not going to get too much, but he made enough effort. Now, this guy could land on the special teams. That's something that we got to look at. Our special teams always going to need guys. You know what I'm saying? So, therefore, he could find himself on the special teams just because of what he did tonight. Now, like I said, Tinsley definitely is going to make the team. And can the Commanders keep 6 or 7 receivers? It all remains. Tinsley came from Kansas City along with Pringle. Now, Pringle didn't have a good game. You know, he only caught 1 pass. He was targeted 3 times. He only caught 1 pass for 10 yards. But most likely Pringle will make the team. So you got Tinsley and Pringle making the team behind Brown, Terry, Samuels, and Dotson. So that's 6 right there. You probably going to end up needing 7. And with a 7th person come in, it's going to probably be the kick return especially, mostly. And Dax Medline, he didn't really do much either. He was targeted 3 times. He caught 1 for 8. You know, and this is where I was wanting Kaz Allen to step up because I feel like, you know, Medline was injured, and you need to, if you're going to have these opportunities, you got to take it. You ain't going to get these opportunities again, you know, until next offseason. And then guess what? Or somebody get hurt. And then you look at it. 2 weeks from now, September 10th, the roster's going to be cut down on Tuesday, and that's where you're going to really see who's going to really make the team. But I think some of these guys made cases, some cases in this game. If you look at McGowan, I don't think he's gonna make the team. Hodge, I don't think he's gonna make the team. It's not enough to Kemp and he's one of the signees that we brought in. I don't think he's gonna make the team. Like I say, kick return, Allen, that fair catch punt. He had two kick returns for 53 yards. So I don't know. I mean, that's going to be something that's really, really interesting just to look at to see if he's going to be able to carry on from that point. You know what I'm saying? That standpoint. So who knows? But I think on the defense side of the ball, I think, with Casey Toohill, Ibata, they'll probably most likely be for depth purposes. James Smith-Williams didn't really do too much. KJ Henry didn't really do too much. Wild Goose, one of the cornerbacks, I think he's going to be on the chopping block, just to be honest with you. He has had a really bad preseason from the Ravens game and this game, and he constantly gets beat. And that's something that you really don't need on your... If you're trying to make a squad, you can't be giving up plays. You can't be getting beat and playing out of position. And I wasn't, he played well last year, for us. But now this year is like, I think because we got so many guys with depth and cornerback position, he's seemingly kind of like, I guess it's kind of like nervous. Christian Holmes played a little bit well, but the guy that I think Castro Fields, he didn't play too well to me. I think he got beat a couple of times, but he made enough plays to make it look good. Whiteside, that's the guy that I'm looking for. So he had a pretty good stretch down around in the second half of the game today. He did have a really good way. Like I said, some of these guys can make the practice squad. Christian Holmes, I think he's probably will make the practice squad, or he might make the special teams. Just like Jeremy Reeves did. Jeremy Reeves made special teams, and he got into the Pro Bowl as a special team player. And guess what? He don't even play that much on the defensive end. So like I said, the Burgess guy, all of these guys are young. They're not really going to make the team, to be honest with you. They just fillers, man. Fillers. So, I don't know about KJ Henry. I mean, he could make, like I said, some of these guys could make the special teams. Now, how much they need, who knows? But looking at the whole stat line for the Commanders game right now, it was the time of possession, Washington leads. And that's something that Washington probably, even though they're going to want to play fast, they still want to control the clock. So that's something that they definitely have to continue to work on, because you're going to have running backs. Now, and especially if you think about it, this offense is going to be so much explosive, because when you get all your starters in there, then there's a variety of things that other teams going to have to account for. You're not going to have to worry about all of these extra players that's in there, all these guys that's just really not, able to real gain speed. So total yards, Washington had more. There was 374. Passing yards, there was 20-something yards less. Rushing yards, safely enough, Washington outrushed them 150. That's something good, even though they was passing a lot. They had over 200 yards passing. First downs, 22-14. Penalties, they only had 2 penalties. That's good. No turnovers. But they gave up 3 sacks, and they only had 61 plays to the Bengals 61. So, with that being said, that's a good balance. That's pretty much a good balance what you want to look for. The sacks, you don't want to give up sacks too much. But I think Ricky Stromberg has made him a case he has had an excellent preseason so far. Brandon Dillon, even though he might not make the team, but he played nice this game. Khalid Hudson, I honestly, Khalid Hudson should start. I really think he should start. He should not be a backup. Khalid Hudson played his behind off. He had a really good preseason game tonight, and I know they're still waiting for Jamin Davis to break out, but I just don't see it happening. I think Jamin has improved a little bit here and there. We'll see what he's going to look like. But, with Cody Barton and Khalid Hudson, you should play 3 linebackers. On your team, you should play a 3 linebacker set, minus one of the cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? You got to use him, man. The dude is too valuable not to use in the game. So, but for the most part, the Washington Commanders ended the preseason 3-0 for the first time in some years. The last time we was undefeated in preseason, we had a bad regular season, a real bad regular season. Do I think that's going to happen this time? No, I don't. I think this team is way more talented. I think you saw some of the raw talent on the field, that guys that playing out of position, just out there, and everything like that. But nevertheless, the team will be cut down. I think the play calling was hit and miss a little bit. For the offense, I think when Fromm came in, he just, he executed what he needed to execute. So could that lead to other things? Who knows? But I think the playbook for the Commanders is going to be wide open starting day one against the Arizona Cardinals. With that being said, I like what I've seen tonight. There's some stuff that still need to be cleaned up, especially in the passing game, pass defense game. I just don't like to get passed on. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. A guy, especially me as a guy that played on both sides of the ball. We played, I played cornerback and I played wide receiver, and I just don't like to get passed on at all. So with that being said, we'll see. But a great preseason for the Commanders, a great start to the season, a great overall look for the season. So what can we expect? Hey, just sit back and relax, and we'll bring it to you. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell anytime we hit a hardcore video. And until then, peace.